Hello, everybody. I'm going to give it just a second here to make sure that I'm live out here at the right spot, at the right time, at the right place for our Ink and Crew World Card Making Day event. So I'm glad y'all are here, and thanks for joining us, and we appreciate that. Hopefully you enjoy the day. Like I said, once I kind of see that we're here and that it's live and I'm in the right place and y'all are able to find me and join it. It looks like I can see a few of you commenting on the video now, so I'm glad y'all are here. Again, welcome to our event. So hopefully you enjoy it, and hopefully you're going to have a good day and just a fun day of Stampin'. We kind of try to keep it pretty relaxed around here. I know there's a Stampin' Up event this afternoon, and theirs is much more organized, and they've got all the stuff done ahead, and you can stamp along with them if you want to. But here we're just more about having a good time, enjoying the day, stamping with you guys, showing you some projects, and then then all of our links will be posted once our blog posts go live. For this particular card, my post is going to go live around 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, so y'all can come back and take a look then for the blog post, or you can go out to my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com, and follow along out there, and you can find my blog post, and you can see all the details then. So you don't need to worry about writing everything down. That's all we're going to say. So before I get going on my card, a couple things. I know that you all have been having fun playing along with the little goofy memes and things that we've been posting. We are going to turn off the commenting on those around 10 o'clock tonight Eastern time. And so at that point, we'll be picking some winners tomorrow. Just going to turn it off tonight, go to bed, because it's a fun day, but it's a long day. So we'll be picking winners for those tomorrow and posting them tomorrow evening. So don't panic. Again, you have till 10 o'clock tonight to get entered into all the drawings for all the fun little things. If you're not able to hop on live for the videos, the recordings are going to be around indefinitely, as long as Facebook will allow this page to be open. We're going to go ahead and have our links up, and also on our blogs, most of us will be posting links to the videos and blog posts and all that stuff. Well, obviously the blog posts, posting links to the videos out on our blogs, so you'll be able to find them there. We also have YouTube channels, so come find us there and come follow along, and you'll be able to find everything that you need. There are some people in here who are going to be kind of watching for questions and that sort of thing, more general questions. So if you have any of those, feel free to post them, and we'll try to keep up with that. What else? October 16th is kind of the cutoff date. If new people want to come in, and or if you want to invite friends to come and watch the videos and things later, they can certainly do that. We're just going to turn it off for new people coming in and new commenting and all that sort of thing on October 16th. So make sure that you get your friends in here if they are wanting to join by then. Again, the page will be open forever, so you can come in and out as long as you like. Check out the videos for as long as you like, but we're just going to turn it off for new people, just so that we don't have to kind of keep up with it and make sure that we're in here and replying to all the questions and that sort of thing. All right. Two of the people that are presenting today, Tara, that's going to go live, I should say there will be a video around noon Eastern time today, and Akiko, who will be posting a video around 3 o'clock Eastern time today. Those are both going to be pre-recorded videos, so you're not going to get a notice that they are going live. You'll just see, oh, here's a link to the video, go watch the video there. So just wanted you to be aware it's going to be a little different formatting for their videos, because they were recorded ahead of time, because they weren't able to join us live today, but wanted to share their projects with you guys. So I'm glad that they're doing that. And then that's kind of it. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy. And like I said, just come in, watch the videos, come hang out with us, answer our goofy questions. The giveaways are all going to be related to the questions that we're asking, so don't feel like you have to be on watching live and all that sort of thing, catching the videos live in order to be able to be entered to win any of the giveaways. One other thing to know about the giveaways is we are only able to send those within the United States. So if you live outside the United States, you are more than welcome to comment and come hang out with us for the day. But unfortunately, if you live outside the U.S., we're not going to be able to send the prizes. So, all right. Let me know if you have questions about any of that, but let's get busy doing some stamping. So this is the card that I'm going to show you today. I use the Irresistible Blooms, which is one of those stamp sets that I haven't used for a little while. And I will honestly say I was sitting here looking, trying to figure out what I was going to make today, and my older daughter was in the room with me, and so she is the one actually. She drew the layout for me, picked out the designer paper for me, told me that it should be a thank you sentiment on here. So she kind of did the whole layout for the card for me. So If you don't like the layout, then blame it on her. No, I'm just kidding. So anyhow, so I just thought it was fun to have her involved, and I actually asked her if she wanted to come in and present with me today. She's like, no, Mom, I'm not doing that. So anyway, all right, so this is the card that I'm doing today. Irresistible Blooms is the main stamp set with the flowers, and I use the Irresistible Blooms dies, the coordinating ones. These are actually both in the online exclusive, so they're actually not in either of the catalogs. They are one of the items that is an online exclusive only. So you can go out to the online store, look under the online exclusives, and you'll be able to see these. So let me set this aside, and then I'll grab the other stamp set that I used. And I did sneak in, I don't know if you saw it, Heartfelt Hexagons, which is one of the stamp set bundles that Stampin' Up! Is using in their event later this afternoon. Of course, all I used was the little surround for the hexagon and the punch, but I did use that stamp set on here because I like the shape and thought it was good for the sentiment. All right, let me set this aside and let's get busy doing some stamping. My original card, as if you've seen any of my videos before, you know that I prefer the top fold cards. But I do like to show you, because I know that not everybody loves these, and some people think it's the weirdest opening ever on the cards. So I like to show you that you can do them as a side fold card. Usually, almost all of my designs will work that way. This one in particular does. So my original card base was 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2 across the top. This card base is actually 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4 down the middle. So you can do either way, whichever way you prefer. And then I've got, this is Poppy Parade, by the way. And again, all the details will be in my blog post on Tuesday, so you can go take a peek at it then. Pretty Peacock cardstock. This is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have a piece of the Garden Walk Designer Series paper. It's a 6 by 6 pack from the current mini catalog. And it's a great pack of paper. If you haven't seen it, you should go take a look at it because it's got kind of all across the seasons. Yeah, so this is kind of probably a little more summary of the prints, but there are some that are Christmassy, there are some that are fall. So it's a beautiful pack of paper. If you don't have it, go get it. And I know that some of you are quite the paper hoarders because I was reading through your comments earlier about what do you have way too much of, and I frequently saw paper. So yeah, so we're going to try to help you use a little of that up today. So, all right, this piece of Designer Series paper is cut to about 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And again, we're just going to stick it here on the Pretty Peacock cardstock, which again was cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I've got a little piece of gold foil. This one, I don't know, it's probably 5/8 of an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch wide, but it's 3 7/8 inch long, and that was the most important measurement on it, just because I want it to run side to side on my card base. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that on down kind of near the bottom. There's, again, no specific measurement or exact placement on it, just stick it down near the bottom. And then I've got a piece, this again is from the Garden Walk Designer Series paper. This is about 1 3/4 by about 3 7/8. So we're just going to go ahead, and this is the Christmas paper, by the way, which is one of my favorite designs in the pack. Of course, I stuck it down today and didn't use it because I wasn't making a Christmas card, and I agree, definitely no hoarding of the Designer Series paper. So, all right, and just going to take that, and all I wanted was a little peek of the gold foil sticking out down on the bottom. So I'm going to take my Designer Series paper and cover up quite a bit of the gold. All right. Then I'm going to grab a couple Stampin' Dimensionals, and yes, I do. And good morning and hello to everybody that's hopping in. I can see your comments flying by, but I'm not able to say hello to everybody. So thanks so much for joining. We appreciate you being here. Hopefully you enjoy the day and get some good card making ideas. Excuse me. So I do chop my Stampin' Dimensionals in half, and I know that drives some people crazy. Some people think that it's, you know, silly to do that and prefer the whole ones, and if you do, you can certainly use those. I actually like the half ones because I've kind of gotten used to using them, and I think they fit better in most things. And I know that we have the minis, but the minis I think are too small, and the big ones I think are too big. So I'm like Goldilocks, and I like it, you know, just right from the, you know, from right in the middle, I guess. So, all right, so there we go. We got those peeled off, and I'm going to take that and flip it over and stick it here and hopefully get it centered and straight on my card front. There we go. All right, next up, we're finally going to do a little bit of stamping. I have got some Poppy Parade cardstock. I know. See, Mary, once you get started, Mary used to think I was one of the, thought I was crazy and was one of those odd people. And once you get started using, how did I get glue all over my paper already? Goodness. Once you get started using the half ones, it's hard to go back. So, all right. So I've got Poppy Parade ink and the larger flower from the Irresistible Bloom stamp set. And we're just going to stamp that in Poppy Parade ink on Poppy Parade cardstock. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the smaller flower. I am crazy. I know, I can't help it. And oh, I'm glad y'all are liking her design. Like I said, I'm sitting there looking and looking, and she's like, here, I have an idea. And I'm like, okay, I'm good with that. So I don't ever mind. I can always use some other ideas. Now I've got garden green cardstock, and I'm going to grab a couple of the leaf images from the Irresistible Bloom stamp set. So many demonstrators don't fold their cards in half until it's fully designed. How do I center it? I don't know. I guess I've kind of just taught myself to watch for the score line, and I don't have much trouble with it. The reason that I don't do it, I know some people think, again, I have people on my team, Mary, who think that I'm crazy for not folding the card base in half immediately. But the reason that I don't do that and don't like to do that is because then the card base is kind of bouncing around and floating around a little bit. And then I actually have a harder time getting things stuck on it straight when it's that way. When it's laid out flat, I can envision where the edges of things are and can usually get it stuck on straight. So that's why I do it. And yes, I am that way. And no, Mary is the crazy one in the group. So, all right, garden green ink, garden green cardstock. And I've got the little leaf images. I did one of those ahead of time. So again, trying to minimize the die cutting because I know it's like watching paint dry, having somebody die cut in front of you. All right, so got a couple of those stamped. I'm going to set those. Okay, so I'm going again. Okay, sorry. My goodness, I don't know what in the world all of a sudden, I'm like panicking. I'm sure the recording of this is going to be horrible. So I apologize if you're watching the recording. I don't know what happened. I have no answers. So I think this is where I left off. I'm getting ready to do my die cutting. I probably should have done that instead of panicking and trying to fix the video. So, all right, whew, we're back. All right, so I'm going to do the little die cutting here. And, oh, thanks so much, Karen. All right, thank you. So, all right. Yes, it's the weather that's making it freeze, not me. So, all right. So I'm going to do a little die cutting here. I'll be off screen, actually, and I will try to still keep yakking, and so you know that I'm still here and not frozen again. So, all right. And thanks for hanging with me. I appreciate it. I apologize again. Facebook makes me crazy some days. All right, so the flower die cuts are ready. And now I'm just going to run the leaves through quickly. All right, hopefully quickly, I should say. Oop, there we go, wiggling my dies around a little. Making sure that hopefully I get it cut straight. So, phew, y'all, I was sweating a little when it wasn't working, so glad that things are back. All right. Yes, I agree. If that's all that goes wrong, then we are doing well. So some days are better than others. All right. Next up, we've got some pretty peacock cardstock and the sentiment from the Irresistible Bloom stamp set. And I've got Versamark ink, and we're going to do a little heat embossing, so it's going to get a little noisy here. All right. There we go. Ink it up well with Versamark ink. Whoop. Stamping it here in the middle of my pretty peacock cardstock. Oh, thanks, Rosie. I appreciate that. And then we're going to grab white embossing powder from the Basics embossing powders. Sprinkle it on here. Shake off the extra. I shouldn't say shake off. Flick off, tap off the extra. And I'm going to close this up before I turn my heat tool on, because I don't know if you've ever had a mess with embossing powder. But if you do that once, I promise you won't do it again. So, all right, so Stampin' Up's heat tool has two settings on it. There's a level 1 setting for drying. So if you're doing something like watercoloring and you want to speed up the drying process a little bit, you can use the level 1 setting. Otherwise, level 2 setting is for heat embossing, so it gets a little bit warmer. So I'm just giving the heat tool a second to heat up a little further before I go ahead and turn it towards my project. So just going to turn it here, and then when it starts to turn that bright white and kind of shiny looking, that's when it's done cooking. There, it's starting to turn. Hopefully you can see it on the video. You don't want to overheat your embossing powder because you can burn it, and then it turns all yucky and brown looking, and it's not very pretty. And ask me how I know, because I've done it many, many times. So, all right, there we go. So we've got the heat embossing all done on this, and I'm giving it just a second to cool off before I hop on to the next step here. So I have got the Heartfelt Hexagon. There are two different ones in the stamp set. This one is kind of a double layered. It's got little dots and lines on it. The other one is just dots and pretty peacock ink. I'm glad y'all are joining today. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. And thanks for putting up with the technical difficulties. All right. Now the hardest part is trying to get it centered around this and somewhat straight. All right. There we go. Looks like we got it on there reasonably straight. Going to close up that ink pad because that would definitely be all over me. All right, so there we go. There's a little bit where I embossed it, and I'd stamped over the edge of it. So I'm going to do just a little tap over the top of it and make sure that I take off any of the excess ink on there, because when you heat emboss, the ink won't stick to it, and then you'll end up smearing it, or you'll end up with it all over your hands, kind of like I do when I'm done. So, all right, we've got the Heartfelt Hexagon Punch, which is part of the new bundle from Stampin' Up! That's available for World Card Making Day. And of course, I stamped that too high up on the paper. I realized that just as soon as I went to put it in the punch, I'm like, ooh, that's not going to work. Trim off a little of the extra paper there and slide it into the punch. And we will go ahead and, whoop, come on, Amy. Get it straightened in there. All right. And punch out the sentiment. So get that out of the way. All right, now we're going to start actually assembling the card front. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I will start with the sentiment. So I'm going to grab, I put a little bit of the gold and vanilla satin edge 3/8 inch ribbon. Just put it in a kind of a wide Z on the card front. So I'm going to go ahead and put just a little strip, maybe a little strip of Stampin' Seal up here to adhere my ribbon to. And I'm just going to start it so that it's right over kind of close to the edge. And then I'm going to take my sentiment and I'm going to use that as my guide so that I know about how wide I want this to be on here. And we'll go like that. And then we'll zip it across here again. So stick that down. And I'm just going to do one last double check and make sure that it's wide enough in the spot where I want it to be and all that sort of thing. Because we can lift, and when you stick it down with Stampin' Seal like this, it's pretty easy to lift it and move it around if you need to. So I'm fairly happy with the way that looks. And Karen K, look away, because I'm chopping it with my snips because I forgot to bring my ribbon scissors again. She gets after me because I forget it all the time when I go live, and then I end up hacking things with my paper snips instead. All right, going to grab a couple Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to make sure that I put at least one at the top and the bottom, because I want to make sure that part of it is stuck to the paper and not just to the ribbon, because if you just stick it to the ribbon, it'll kind of float around and it's not going to stay on very well. So I know, look away from the chopping with the with the paper snips. So someday I'll remember to have everything ready, and then I'll forget where I have put it all. So, Karen, I need to have you come over before I go live every time and help me remember to get my scissors out and set everything up where it should be. Because half the time I forget my inks and running around the room, and y'all think I'm crazy. All right, so there we go. We've got our sentiment stuck down. Now I'm going to add a couple of the little flowers. And I'm going to try to keep the dimensionals on these kind of towards the center, just because I'm going to be tucking some of the leaves underneath. So I want to make sure that they will fit under the leaves will fit underneath my stamped flowers. So I'm going to put the first flower on there, and then I'm going to put the larger flower, which I definitely need to make sure that I don't put dimensionals too far over, because I'm going to have it kind of hanging over this flower as well. So I'll put a couple Stampin' dimensionals on here. All right. And we'll stick this down with a little couple Stampin' dimensionals. Then I've got my little die cut leaves and some mini glue dots, and we'll be sticking this together. So I'm going to take the smaller leaf and put one of them up here underneath my smaller flower. And then the larger leaf, I'm going to take a little mini glue dot and stick that one underneath the larger flower. And I'm probably going to slide a Stampin' dimensional underneath there in a second, but I wanted to get everything put down here first before I stuck everything together. So there we go. All right. Hopefully the video this afternoon will go better. So I'm going to grab one of my Stampin' dimensionals. This is how I cut mine. So I chop mine in half, run my scissors right down the center of the row here. And then I'm going to peel it off the backing, stick it to my snips, peel off the other side of the backing. Come on. Maybe, there we go. And then I'm just going to lift up and slide my Stampin' dimensional underneath, smush it down, pull the scissors out, and then I've got a Stampin' dimensional under there. So I do that a lot of times if I'm doing something like this where I know I'm going to layer things up and I don't want to over dimensionalize it and end up with things looking all lumpy and funny, so I can always slide them underneath after the fact. They're a little bit harder to get placed exactly right when you're going to be layering things on over the top of it. All right. So let me grab the little embellishment that I added to it. These are the Blooming Pearls, and they are part of the same suite that has this designer series paper in it. And I'm going to grab 3 of those. So we're just going to grab one of the larger ones, one of the smaller ones, tuck those in around the flower here, and then another one of the smaller ones and tuck it in over there. There we go. And that's it for the card front. So I kept the inside of the card pretty basic as well. We've got just basic white cardstock, and I'm going to bring back in my 2 flowers, the larger and the smaller one, and Poppy Parade ink, and ink it up with Poppy Parade, and stamp the larger one down here in the lower right corner, and then the smaller one up top in the upper left corner. There we go, and we'll stick this inside the card, and you'll be all done. So thanks so much again. I appreciate you all joining today. Hopefully you have a great day of stamping. Terry Lynn Bright will be up next around 10 o'clock Eastern time, so she'll be hopping on live, and hopefully her video won't freeze like mine just did. And again, I appreciate you all hanging with me and coming back and sticking with the video. And hopefully I can edit out the middle of it where I'm like, is it live? Is it live? So, all right, so there we go. This piece was cut to about 4 by 5 1/4, just sticking it on the inside of the card. I'm gonna go ahead and fold it closed, grab my bone folder, run a little crease down the side, and that's it. So this is the one I did ahead of time with my top fold on it. This is one we did here today with the side fold. So you can pick which one you like better as far as the fold goes. And go ahead and go make it. So this one is one of those that you could kind of use with whatever your favorite designer series paper is. Obviously, I think it should be floral because I do love flowers. But yeah, just grab some paper, mix it up, grab your Irresistible Blooms stamp set and dies, and go ahead, do a little stamping. If you don't have the Irresistible Blooms, make sure you go get them. and also grab the Heartfelt Hexagon while you're at it if you haven't seen it yet either. So thanks again for joining today. Have a wonderful World Card Making Day. Excited to see all the other presenters this morning, this afternoon, this evening. And yeah, I'll be back around 2 o'clock Eastern time with another project, and we will see you all then.